the truth about what 5G is and all the potential health issues and those kinds of things are actively being suppressed by the wireless industry and others who stand to make huge amounts of money off of it. And I'll explain the bigger picture of all of that, but it's most definitely real and it's already out. It's being implemented across the United States and other countries. For example, I live a half an hour north of SpaceX, where they launch their rockets, and they're constantly sending rockets up. They go right over my front yard, and they were already licensed to send up, I think, 12,000 satellites. Each rocket has multiple satellites in them. So they just sent one up last week that had 60 satellites on it for 5G, and they have petitioned, I believe, the FCC or whoever it is that regulates rocket launches in this case, to send up 30,000 more satellites. And so basically they want to put up just SpaceX, not including the other companies like Boeing and several others that are sending up satellites for 5G. They're going to be sending up at least 50, 60,000 satellites, at least altogether, for the implementation of 5th generation wireless technology. And we'll get into what that is in a moment. But, you can go online and search on that, on 5G satellites and that kind of stuff. And you can see in space industry news, what satellites have gone up and what they're being used for, that kind of stuff. Right. Because of the kinds of work that I've done with advanced technologies, when you start working with skater technology and stuff like that, you start bumping into people who are working in advanced projects in various places, sometimes privately, sometimes in corporations, sometimes the military and the space programs. And I've bumped into people just serendipitously that are working on all kinds of technology people wouldn't believe, like time travel technology, interstellar travel and communication. We have all that already. We've had it for decades. But for me, it's not science fiction, because I've met people in the NSA, in the CIA, in the military, in corporations, and private inventors who've developed anti-gravity, time traveling flying saucers. I've met 3 different people who worked on those programs for the US military since the 1950s. So I've been exposed to a lot of technology that most people haven't, and know the reality of what's already out there that's not being publicly discussed. But 5G is, being promoted to the public as faster internet speeds, and it will enable the Internet of Things, which means all these smart appliances, not just in your home, like smart refrigerators, smart toilets, smart toasters, smart toothbrushes. Believe it or not, they've already got those out. They actually have Wi-Fi enabled toothbrushes that can make a 3D map of your mouth and send that data to your dentist or the NSA or whoever else wants to get at it. Right. And a litany of other data on you, so that every moment of your life will be tracked in real time, not just collecting data about where you went, what you did, but what you're doing in the moment. And not only that, what you are thinking. There are people who are energy weapons experts who are coming out, like the former energy weapons technician Mark Steele, Barry Trower, and also William Binney, who was the former chief technology officer of the NSA, and other people like that. They're all coming out and exposing what the real agenda with these technologies are. It's not just about faster internet speeds. It's not about having all these amazing conveniences with all these smart appliances, or, it'll enable, on the good side, it will enable a lot of good things and a lot of conveniences, but it'll also enable a surveillance state beyond anything that people can comprehend, for one thing. And it will enable things like social credit scoring, which is already going on in China, where just like a financial credit score, you will be assigned a social score, whether you buy into it or not. And based on your activity and what you do, you will receive a social score. And if your social score isn't high enough, then you can be denied access to housing, to food, to transportation, to all kinds of services, insurance, all sorts of things. That's already happening right now. It's been going on in China for a while now, and it's beyond Orwellian, but it's coming to the United States now. People are starting to get denied for loans and for insurance and things like Uber and Airbnb based on their social activity right now. But when the Internet of Things is fully implemented, if it is fully implemented, where you've got, a smart refrigerator and a smart toilet and a smart toaster and your cell phone and a smart toothbrush and, everything else Wi-Fi enabled, number one, you're going to be bathed in massive amounts of EMF.
Yeah.
And you won't be able to get away from it because it's not just satellite based. They've got these satellites going up that will be beaming what are called millimeter waves down to the earth. Millimeter waves are frequencies that are higher than microwaves, and so the wavelengths are so small. They travel very fast and they can send a lot of data in a given amount of time, but they don't have much power. It's kind of like waves at the ocean. If you're standing in the ocean and there's little waves lapping up against your ankles, they don't have much power. They can't knock you down, but they're fast. They hit you much quicker. Big wave comes in that can knock you down. It comes in much slower, but it has a lot more power behind it. So that's the idea behind 5G. It can send a lot more data because there's more, with the shorter wavelengths, there's more information that can be transmitted in a given amount of time. But because it has less power, they have to use satellite-based systems. And they also claim that they will need to have ground-based mini towers every 500 to 600 yards everywhere, bathing the entire globe in a sea of EMF beyond comprehension. And I've been told by someone in the know who's a PhD in electrical engineering who knows about this technology, he said that the ground-based antennas are not needed, that it could all be done with satellites with less EMF, EMF, by the way, being electromagnetic fields. But the reason that they're using these ground-based towers, according to him, is because the NSA and the CIA and others want those towers in place for surveillance and spying, because not only can these, when you've got these towers in place, not only can they communicate with all these smart appliances in your home, but they can actually utilize that beam-forming technology that they use, where instead of sending out a broadcast field in all directions, it actually sends a very directed beam of energy at the appliances and your cell phone, so that, and it can be utilized with other technology in your house like LED lighting and things, so that it can not only see where you're at in the house and know who you are, but it can actually read your mind. Now that may sound like a bunch of paranoid schizophrenia to some people listening, but you can go online right now and Google NSA synapse, SYNAPSE, and you will see, excuse me, not NSA, DARPA, DARPA, DARPA synapse. DARPA is the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency. They're the agency that develops new technologies for the military. And they, on their website, publicly state that they're developing, through the Internet of Things and this 5G network, they want to develop a global brain that will be the Internet, kind of like Skynet in the Terminator movies, that will utilize artificial intelligence to be self-aware and know everything that's going on around the globe in real time. So basically, you'll have this global brain that will be spying on you, knowing what you're doing, knowing what you're thinking. And then the kicker is these towers can send frequencies back to you to alter your brainwave states and suppress your consciousness and even mind control you. So this is not paranoia. It's on these websites. These organizations are admitting to some of what their uses are for this technology. And then there are other people, whistleblowers in these agencies, who have come out and are talking about this stuff. So it's much more heinous than it appears to be, and it's not just about having faster internet speeds or having a technological advantage over the Chinese and the Russians and other countries. That's just part of the pitch for it. It's really about a global surveillance state.